define your space? Leadership,
Yeah.
training, consulting?
Our space we try to define as leadership, talent and culture. Okay. The reason is that those are the very closely sort of interlinked. The leadership space, I think, is largely about creating very, very customized solutions. Okay, and solutions could range from esoteric solution, which is really advising the top management on how they should look at the company going forward in terms of leadership. But it would also go down to something very specific, saying coaching a particular individual, or it could be a solution saying we need a advanced management development solution which works across for a pool of people. Okay. The leadership space, however, is I think characterized very largely by very individual DNA and history of companies and their needs. There is no really standard offering if you really want to look at the leadership development space as different from the training space. Over the last 10 years, there are a lot more smaller firms which are coming in. Sometimes these are partnerships of 2, 3, 4 people. Sometimes they're a little bit larger. But I think that space is still few and far between in terms of specialization. An average buyer is still very cost conscious. Lots of individuals who do not have overheads, who do not have significant investment in research, who may not have other costs, etc., I think are able to offer services often based on personal experience or 1 or 2 things. And there's a thriving market for it. Okay, there's a very, very thriving market for it. If you take the cost part away, and you start looking at firms which are providing services, the global firms do have an advantage in terms of sometimes methodology, sometimes good quality research. Many times they've got standardized programs which can be scaled up. And many large multinational companies prefer to roll out something which they can roll out across the globe. And then the culture piece, I believe, is really is an outcome of the kind of leadership and talent you have. In many ways. And obviously it is dependent on the nature of your industry and history, but I believe that culture is very, very largely dependent on the kind of people you have as leaders and the kind of quality of talent you have and how do you manage that talent. Leadership as a subject in a way is not really an HR subject. I would say that it's really more of a business subject than a HR subject in that sense. HR still seems to be sort of the owner of this whole leadership development business, if you want to call it that way, whereas in reality it should possibly be with the business leaders, and it is moving there. I think it is moving there in many cases.